Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. McCausland, will you please take roll?
Mrs. Feiss. Here. Mr. Grisbeck.
Here.
Mrs. Janasek.
Here.
Mrs. Hoppy.
Here.
Mr. McGregor.
Here.
Mr. Modrak.
Here.
Mr. Scalzo.
Here.
Mrs. Turner.
Here.
Mr. Christensen.
Here.
All 9 members present.
Thank you. I'd like to announce executive sessions that were held on October 10th for personnel, other legal matters, and to receive information. And this evening, October 17th, for personnel, other legal matters, and to receive information. Are there any public comments on the agenda items tonight? Any callings?
No Collins.
No? Okay, thank you. So let's go through the committee items. So as always, this is a committee meeting, so we will review the items and decide or recommend those items be placed on the consent agenda for next week. Mrs. Scalzo, can you walk us through the items under the curriculum committee?
Yes, we have one item. The Board of School Directors approves the administration's recommendation to permit the following individuals to participate in the listed professional development activities. Dawn Brailer to attend the SHAPE, which is Society of Health and Physical Education, PA State Convention at Spooky Nook in, there's a typo, Mannheim, PA, from October 25th, 2023 to October 27th, 2023 at a cost of $520. And Crystal Summers to attend the 2023 Association of School Psychologists Fall Conference at the Ramada Hotel and Conference Center in State College, PA, from November 8th, 2023 to November 9th, 2023 at the total cost of $784. Recommend that we put this on the consent agenda.
Any comments, questions? Okay, Mr. McGregor, can you take the 6 items under the Personnel Committee?
Yeah, tonight I'll be asking you guys to send the following 6 items to the consent agenda. Number 1, approval of extra duty responsibility programs for this year. Number 2, acceptance of resignations. Number 3, change of assignment. Number 4, appointment of personnel. Number 5, approval of unpaid leave of absence. And number 6, attainment of status of professional employee.
Any questions on any of these? Okay, Mr. Grisbeck. Oh, any objections to putting all 6 of those items on the consent agenda? Okay. Mr. Grisbeck, can you take the 6 items then under Finance?
Yes, I can. Thank you. We have 6 items tonight under the Finance Committee agenda. Item number 1, October 2023 salaries and bills. Item number 2, September 2023 financial report. Item number 3, acceptance of donation for Neil Armstrong Middle School from an anonymous donor of a Monoprice Maker Ultimate 3D printer, MK11, valued at approximately $150. Item number 4, another acceptance of donation, this time for school supplies, valued at approximately $5,000 from the Bethel Park Walmart store. Item number 5, awarding of bid for the tracked 52-inch rotary remote-controlled robotic mower, 50 degrees max slope to the Safety Company LLC, DBA MTech in the amount of $39,950. And item number 6, approval of student services contracts, revised Auberly ESAP letter of agreement. First off, could we just get a quick explanation on number 5 and why that item is necessary? I can imagine that some people would be a bit surprised at the cost.
The RC mower is actually at a reduced cost. The actual price is $69,000. I worked with the company that we rented it from to maintain all of our slopes. Our campuses have a significant number of slopes that have very difficult areas to maintain, and this offers several items. One, it's a safety factor. Our teams do not have to go up and stand on a 35% or more grade. It can do a lot of things that would be just time-consuming, very labor-intensive, that cuts it down significantly, and it beautifies our campus because it looks a lot better instead of having to weed whack and things of that nature. The warranty starts anew. We pay for the machine, and the warranty's clock starts anew, so it's almost a new machine, and we've used it to our benefit. So,
Thank you very much for the explanation. Does anyone have any questions about any of these items? Would anyone like any items held out? All right, hearing none, then I move the 6 items to the consent agenda for next week.
Thank you. Mrs. Turner, can you walk us through the extensive list of policies?
Yes, I can. The first are revisions, if my computer will come up. 110 for instructional supplies, 320 for freedom of speech in non-school setting, and 321 for political activities. These things were clarifications on some of the things from PSBA, correct, Dr. Walsh?
Well, the 320 and 321 would be new policies for the district. 110 is a clarification that we wanted to make to our existing policy based on our current practice for recommending school supply lists.
Correct, because there was a
Yes.
differential for what was going home and what was in policy.
Correct.
110, under the second paragraph. The board, let's see, where is it? When students prepare useful items they are permitted to keep, they shall pay the district the cost of the materials used. Can we have an example of what that is? What that would be?
The only thing
Like wood shop or ceramics, but we don't do that.
That's what
We
I
don't
thought.
collect. We buy the supplies, the woods are part of our general fund budget.
Yeah.
So no, we don't charge students to take home their ceramic projects or their wood shop projects.
And we don't make them bring their own
That's what I
supplies in.
thought, but I just wanted clarification on the policy itself.
Approval of policy 906.1, which is anonymous communications, which is something we have all dealt with in the last 2 years. It can't be investigated because we can't go back and ask anybody questions. Kind of that's what Safe to Say is for, so that you get a code in case somebody needs to ask you additional questions. But if you send the board or Dr. Walsh or Dr. Korzynski an anonymous letter, we can't do anything with it. So we wanted to make sure we had a policy in place. Policy rescinded, this is one, 555, or 255, I'm sorry, is being rescinded because we replaced it with 251.
Correct.
Okay. The next things are only 4 through, I don't know how many I have tonight, 15, so there's 11 of them, are for discussion only, and they are the 100s and the 800s for gifted and emergency preparedness drills and records keeping. Dr. Walsh, these just are the administrative regulations that go with the policy, so the administrators know how to put forth the regulations.
That's correct. Thank Dr. Mensch for convening a committee of parents to review these and talk about improvements in the gifted programs. So these have been additionally vetted by members of our gifted community. The records management policy is going to be continually updated. I think Mr. McCausland's working on another revision of this because it's quite extensive, and we have all sorts of records, electronic ones now, that we have to keep on top of. And then we also had our Officer Gaulis, our chief, review the school security training to make sure we're complying with what the state requires through Act 55.
I have a quick question on the security training. at the building levels or at the district level? How often is that offered to our security team?
So it depends on some of the trainings they have to have for employment or immediately after employment. Some of it's ongoing or update training, so that would happen annually or in some cases every 5 years, depending on the requirements. And then the NASRO stuff is stuff they have to do independently. We wouldn't sponsor it. They would do that independently as their certifications expire.
Okay, thank you.
And I think some of those are annually because they rotate out also, based on what I read. Any questions? I'm not moving anything to consent
Right, 'cause
because
it's just the
we're not
first-
till November 14th.
Right, yeah.
I just wanted to echo Dr. Walsh. Thank you to Dr. Minch for meeting with the families and going through the 114 ARs. So we appreciate that, and thank you for taking the time to do that.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Well, that's the end of the committee items. Are there any other public comments on anything related to school business? You have 2 minutes. Any call-ins?
No Collins.
No? Any board comments? Quiet bunch tonight, huh?
I'll share. I'm just, I'm an hour away from the PSBA conference in Danville, PA, so that I could be with you tonight. So I look forward to updating everybody next week in the PSBA Liaison Committee update and letting you know about the wonderful sessions. It was a really, really great conference. And I really encourage, if there are more of you who would like to go next year, and possibly even Dr. Walsh might like to go. It's the joint PASA PSBA conference. There's a lot of really great information that's out there. So I'll share some details next week. And Anthony, your friends Shane and Lena say hello.
Tell them I said hi.
I did.
Maybe you have to tell us a story about that.
Co-workers.
Very good. Any other comments? Is there a motion to adjourn? You can't make a motion and second. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.